Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Kyle Walker, a behavioural scientist and psychologist, the owner and founder of Epic Psychology, and today I have a fantastic guest, Pasha Munro. Ladies and gentlemen, Pasha Munro.
So yeah, Pasha Munro, my background is I was in the UK military 27 years, left that 7 years ago, and kept within the security industry really. Bounced around various high net worth people, celebrities, royal families, etc. And it's nice going into different environments and different relationships, because if I was on the norm kind of scale, then you don't get the knowledge of them kind of people. So it's building all that knowledge to make me.
Yeah, a bit more value.
Yeah,
isn't it?
absolutely.
So today we're going to be talking about, there's a lot of things going on in the culture at the minute about toxic masculinity, toxic femininity. And my stance is this: people are either toxic or they are either masculine or feminine. I don't believe masculinity can be toxic. I don't believe femininity can be toxic. I have this sense that masculinity is protected and beautiful, so is femininity. And this current culture that we live in, there are either toxic people or people who sit in the domains of masculinity.
Well, it's rogues, isn't it?
Well, it's exactly that. I think we like to label things, don't we? You know, especially when it comes down to separating, because it's always about race, religion, colour, creed.
There's always a name to it.
There's something in there, and then it's like almost like the culture finds this way to label something, to get people to.
And people need to have that on their on who they are. I am this. I am this. I am this. I am this. I've been told I've got all this.
Yeah.
So why do we need that?
It's a brilliant question, because it's like an identity concern, isn't it? I think that a lot of people, you know, we was talking about this before this podcast started. We was talking about thinking and, you know, how people have lost the ability to think critically. And I think this falls in perfectly with that, you know, because we have lost the ability to think critically. We don't formulate our own identities, right? So we formulate identity based on whatever the current fucking trend is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
And we should take a time out ourselves as well to see where we are on our own path. If we're coming off that, then, like you say, we're going into the realms of what's everyone else doing, so I'll jump on that. But people don't pause enough either, just to have a condor moment to say, look, I'm swaying it. This isn't actually me. I'm pretending. I'm doing that because people want me to do that.
But perfect what you just dropped there, man. Like that silence, that here and now. Because I think that is an element of critical thought, critical thinking, isn't it? Is taking, I love what you dropped in there, that taking that time away from everyone or everything, being here, being present.
Look at me.
Yeah, like
what am I doing?
Yes.
What am I doing? Where do I think I need to go?
100%.
You know, and what is my aim? We've all got our own aims. It depends on how long we want to go on that aim before we need to bounce onto another aim. But we should plan our own. You know, in the next 6 months, I want to be here, and then I'll evaluate it then, and then move on, rather than I'm just going to get up 9 to 5 and go to work, and that's it.
For somebody else's dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the truth though, isn't it?
Yeah, that man's getting really rich because of me.
Yeah. The guy who actually did that plan, what you just said, the guy who actually...
Yeah, he just stole it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's like also, when you think about that as well, I think people become potentially frightened of facing those parts of themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because it's like...
It's scary to be an individual.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
We're all individuals.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing our own paths.
Yeah. I think we feel like falling in line is the thing that's going to bring about the success, if we just fall in line with everybody else. But then if you
look at how many people's on that line.
Yeah.
Who is going to actually be the successful on that? Because it's a massive... Look how big the line's going to be. And what's going to make you different to anybody else? It isn't. So you're going to stay on the same path and the same roles, the same.
Yeah. And
that's not exciting.
It's not. And also, what I would argue, that being that type of individual and trying to fit in this ideology it's actually the people who sat there and thought, right, I've got a goal, I want to create a business, I want to be successful, that have created something that those people consume.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
the consumers
Yeah.
of the, you know.
And then it's the people, i.e. the individuals who want to do that. Then you get the toxic people. Oh, that's not the way to do. But that's you saying that. That's how you want to be, and you want to be on that line. I don't want to be on that line. I want to be me, myself, and I.
Yeah. It's the same, you know, it's just like that manosphere that we've seen recently, you know, about this toxic masculinity. It's nice we've led into that because that it made masculinity out to be something that it fucking isn't, you know. And then the manosphere was brilliant for me to watch because it helped me be able to explain to people how that isn't masculinity and to be labelled toxic masculinity. And it got me into these conversations where I was actually being able to, you know, educate people on that is just toxic. Whether that be a man or a woman, they are just toxic individuals. It's not toxic masculinity, nor are these other females.
It's just toxic.
It's just toxic.
Negative.
Masculinity is a set of traits, right? Protection, provision, provide all the nurture of construction. You know, putting things together, problem solving. There's quite a lot of traits in masculinity. Not one of them are toxic, on any level, because you can't.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be here now, would we?
Of course we wouldn't. It's this idea again. This, I think, you know. So it's like this separation. We said earlier about this separation where we're like, we have races against each other, we have religions against each other. Now we've got genders against each other, and all these separations of people all fit into these particular molds which have been predicated by the media and the information that they've absorbed, right? So everyone's abandoned their sense of self and put themselves in each of these groups.
I think I'm that. Yeah.
And they're all fighting amongst each other.
Yeah, yeah.
It's mad.
You
It's
should
like,
respect me because I've got this.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait a minute. People have had that all. You know, who we are today. These haven't just happened. They've been here since we've flipping started walking the earth.
Yeah.
Do you know? So what's happened in the last X amount of flipping thousands of years?
Yeah. It's. I think it is. You know, when we look at this, the current culture and things, and I don't want to go too far into this rabbit hole, but I think that, you know, there's a lot of powers that be who control the markets, control the consumer markets and things, who have such a big influence on the media. And so how do you sell products? You push media, which makes you believe that you need a product, right? You look at America. When in America it's legal for pharmaceutical companies to sell products to people advertise on national TV, shall we say. So just for one example, these pharmaceutical companies, they will, in the advertisement, show all these sunshines and rainbows and these happy people, these happy families singing and dancing with dogs and, you know, climbing mountains. And the average person who probably doesn't need an antidepressant is watching this imagery and going, oh my God, that looks so beautiful. Like the social media falsehood.
That's how life should be.
Yeah. Oh, and then at the end of the advertise, it's like, we've got the pill for you. And then they're like, oh my God.
It's going to change me.
Yeah, and even if there's nothing wrong with them,
yeah.
now they've been made to feel like there is something. Or at least not something wrong with them, but there's something more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's this image of...
Yeah, yeah.
And
it'll make me happier.
Yeah, make me happier. And, you know, I think that it's such a sad thing as well, though, that we have, you know... I'd like to talk today a little bit, as if we may, about young men, you know, and we're going to go into some of your experiences in the military and stuff. Because in my practice here at Epic Psychology, you know, I've slowly but surely over the last maybe 7 months, I've been seeing more and more young men who have come in, and a few in particular who have sort of said, you know, we don't understand what we're doing wrong because we're watching... They've got these idols, which are similar people to these manosphere people.
And nothing happens to them.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they hide it all.
And if anything, everything's going bad for these people who are sat on my sofa.
They're trying.
They're saying, I'm trying this, I'm trying what these people are telling me to do. And if anything, I'm getting in trouble. I'm like, well, of course you're going to get in trouble. I said, because what you're doing is playing out on toxic behaviour. You are playing out on toxic behaviour. There's only one outcome to that. But because this toxic behaviour, not toxic masculinity, because this toxic behaviour from these people on the manosphere have been portraying and showing lavish lifestyles, these young men, God bless them, are trying to follow this way of life and reaping the negative consequences of the behaviour, because there is only negative consequences to that behaviour. And it's, for me, it's a shame. So I suppose I'd love to ask about your, let's talk about some aggression, because aggression is a masculine trait. And my PhD research currently is on aggression, different environments and different pathways to different types of aggression, proactive, reactive aggression. So I suppose one question I would like to ask you, Pash, firstly, before I ask you the main question, I suppose, is tell me a little bit about your military background, the time that you did in the military, and maybe some of the experiences, if you'd like to share them, what you did. The stage is yours.
So, I mean, my first, say, 10 plus years was just, I wasn't really doing much. It was kind of, there wasn't really much, in the 90s, there wasn't much war fighting. Even though everyone wanted to go to war, it was nice because we wasn't doing anything. It was more time on the camps, more time having your own time kind of thing. And then I changed trade to look for that war, to look for what I've been training forever, to put it into practical.
You was looking for the fight.
I was looking for a fight. I was bored and I was looking for the fight. So how I could get to that would be the best at that, what I thought would be the best in the military, to go to get the special jobs. That's how I planned it, or thought that would be my route. And I got into that role, and I wasn't necessarily prepared, even though I wanted it and I was excited to be there. I wasn't prepared, or I didn't understand going through that aggression and everything that comes with the war fighting, how you'd react, how you'd absorb all that energy and things you see and the smells and the environment. You don't plan that because you don't know that bit. But once that's happening and you've moved to like a place to think about it, then I wasn't prepared.
Like a reflection.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared to. I feel like shit now. I'm doing stuff that I've been told to do by the powers who pay me, shall we say, and our government. But in reality, it's not a normal thing, and we don't get our minds into that way that it's
on that level.
No,
that level, it's like you're talking complete end of the spectrum. Right? It's like war and destruction.
And all the nastiness, because you can't erase that. I mean, you try and block it, but sometimes it'll just jump back in. And I'm a big smeller. There's something I need to smell, and I'm a sniffer. Yeah. and I know where I am.
He's got an OnlyFans, guys. He's trying to subscribe. I'm joking.
So if I haven't been somewhere for a while, and I'll go in there, and I know where. If you took me into that place, I'd know where I'd be.
I get that. Yeah.
So that I reflect on that, and the big sounds and the big, where it's we can't plan ourselves for that or our reactions.
No. It's I think it's one of them things that comes, the adaptation comes after, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I'd like to hear your take on it. So when we look at aggression in my research, the research we're doing at the minute, we're actually looking at environmental adaptation to different factors of aggression.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking at things like unpredictable environments, harsh environments, environments which are discouraging and or lack resources. There's 4 different sort of maybe abnormal environments we're going to look at, and then we're going to have a look at the different pathways to different behaviours for particular resources, costs and benefits. Because the costs of you going to war are, what you've shared there is, very emotive, isn't it? I started feeling a bit emotive about your experience. It's I mean,
I remember the first time I went to war, I actually, when I got into the area, before going out, I wrote a letter on the laptop to my children and my wife because I knew, I didn't know, I pre-planned I wasn't going home because the reality of that is quite high. The statistics are quite high.
Yeah.
And
Especially
you don't know,
30
do you?
odd years you did.
Yeah,
right?
so I had to put them in place so I knew if I ever did get whacked, however it happened, and I wish I had that couple of seconds to think, I wish I'd told my missus this, or I wish
Catch
I'd...
me off guard in a minute, man.
Do you know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
And it was on my laptop, and it was a document saying, please send this. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, you got me, man.
And I did a little video as well and just apologised. It wasn't anything anyone told me to do. No one told me to do that, but I thought I always wanted a wife who I'd wait for.
This is me. This is my protective strategy, laughing.
And I always wanted children, and I always wanted them when it was the right time, where everything was in place, because my background wasn't like that. So I wanted, in my mind, I wanted to be the perfect dad, the perfect husband.
Give them what you didn't have, right?
However, I didn't do it right because I went away all the time.
Yeah.
But when I was in that situation, I had to, say, I'm sorry, I'm not coming home, blah, blah, blah. Because I always tell them I love them anyway. Yeah. But telling them when I wasn't there, I had to say that to them. And that was on the file next to it.
It's, I love that. I massively, what a story as well, mate. And like, just thank you for sharing, because I know like them kind of things are difficult in different contexts. I've shared different things about my past, and so this is another thing that I really think this fits in quite nicely here, and that is that we look at sort of this idea that showing emotion
grew up to
is weak.
You was weak.
Yeah. Well, did you see? Can I say actually? I say this to everyone actually. But those who are watching, you might have seen a minute ago that as you was talking, I was welling up because it's a very emotive story, and I start laughing.
Yeah.
It's like it is a protective strategy for me. Yeah. And I did it actually the other day. I was watching something and I was getting really overwhelmed and getting really sad, but not in a bad way. But I was getting really emotional. And literally, I was stood there, sat there in this. It was actually with my PhD supervisors, and my PhD supervisor gave me very, very little encouragement, but to anybody else would have been very small. Like, why did that mean such a thing? But because of where I was, and I received this encouragement, which I've very rarely, seldom had in my life, it caught me off guard. And as he said it, I went. I was like, all right, yeah. And everyone was like, oh, is Kyle... Well, my two supervisors were like, is Kyle all right? And I was like... And then they could see I was going and my eyes were going, but I was still laughing. I was going... I was like...
It's trying to put that cloak over you.
But it's almost like... It's like an automatic mechanism.
Yeah.
When I get emotive and I feel like I'm going to cry, I don't sit there and go, and start crying. I want to. The first thing my body does is, or it's same with pain. If I'm in pain, and this sounds silly, but when I have a sports massage, right? Because I have to go in CrossFit, I have a sports massage every now and again. And when I really get hurt, my sports massage, Naomi, she'll laugh about this. When she'll get in, I'll start laughing and she goes, is it hurt? I'm like, yeah. But she knows now when I laugh to ease off because it's not like a... But anyway, sorry to, we'll go back into that. Like.
But another thing I was just about to say is...
Yeah.
Throughout my childhood, a big thing was music for me. Now, if I'm driving home, I like to listen to really crap music, by the way. Like Smooth FM and things like that.
Yeah.
And if a song comes on, I'll start crying.
Yeah.
And I can't control that. And then all of a sudden, I'll go into this thing of negative, going down and down. And all of a sudden, I'm flipping blubbering to myself.
Yeah.
And I'll get in and I'll look a bag of shit. What happened? Well, I just got into this thought of where I was, what was happening, but it's uncontrollable.
Here's a question then, because actually, I've just had a bit of a penny drop here, because I feel like I have the same. I lost my father 6 years ago, and Garth Brooks, we used to listen to him all the time in the car. If I'm in the car on my own now and I listen to Garth Brooks, I can get very overwhelmed, I can start crying. But I tell you what, penny drop for me, it is the only time that I don't mask it with laughing. So I'm going to have an assumption here that when you was in the car and you got to... Oh,
yeah. Because I'm allowed.
Damn, I think we're just...
I'm allowed to release
crazy.
it, aren't I? Because I'm not hiding it.
And for you, I don't know if you do this. I think this is going to be like world changing. I sometimes get in the car, knowing there's no one around, not predetermining that I know I need to cry, but it's almost like I'll drive in the car and I'll be travelling to my mum's or something, and I think it's an hour drive. I go, I'm going to put some of mine and Dad's music on, and I don't know if it's a subconscious of, you need a good damn cry. No one's around now, and you can. You don't.
Right,
you're not gonna hide it with laughter. You can just process it.
Absolutely.
Wow, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for me as well, it's putting that album on, or them different albums that remind me of whatever's, and I go back into it.
Yeah.
And like you say, I don't plan it, but all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I want to listen to that. I want to think of Dad. I want to think of Mum. I want to think of where I am. Because sometimes I act too hard to think, oh, I don't care. But I do care when it's me, myself, and I do care, and I am a hugger.
I think we unconsciously seek it, you know.
Yeah, and then I'll put it on, and I'll put it loud, and then all of a sudden, you turn round, and someone's, if you stopped up, someone's looking at you, and you're looking at a bag of shit, like, I need to get out of this bit now, because he's staring at me, you know what I mean? But I think to release that now and then, it's got to be good for you. Because
there'll be tons of research on that.
We must build it without knowing we're building it. And like you say, just getting in the car, bang.
Well, it goes back to the olden days. We were raised. I mean, this is only one level because there's multiple levels to this. The developmental section of this mechanism, what word am I trying to say? This masking mechanism of laughing or just not crying in front of people comes from when, I don't know if you remember, or you, Aberdeen, either. I don't know if it was the same in African cultures, a bit different potentially, but I'd be interested to know that when I was 2 years old and I fell over and hurt my knee, and my bone could be sticking through my leg, my dad would look at me and go, if I was crying, my dad would look at me and go, pack it in crying. You pack it in now. I'll give you something to cry about. So because you used to go and swallow, like it'll stop crying. But when you do that consistently over time, as through your developmental years, because all the way through school, all the way, even teachers, boys are tret, stop crying. Stand up, fix yourself up.
And then you get a backhander for it.
You will. I'll give you something to cry about. But what happens then, because that's a developmental stage of emotional regulation, I'm not being able to regulate my especially that emotion of sadness and crying. I can't regulate it. I'm not allowed to regulate it.
It's wrong.
So now I'm an adult. When I'm about to cry, I go, because it's like my body's like, fucking do the opposite. Do the opposite.
This is weak. This is weak.
Yeah, stop. But then as soon as me and you get in a car and we turn our music on, and let me just add this, right? You're talking to an ex-fighter who was, I've had hundreds of fights in different disciplines, and a man who's been in the SBS for 30 odd years, who's seen things that you and I would put us in a different planet. You're talking, you got two tough men here, and Aberdeen's a fantastic father, the guy who's recording this podcast for us. I would say I'm in a room full of good quality masculine men, really good quality masculine men. Yet, we can be vulnerable. We can put ourselves in the car and we can cry. And then you'll get people on these manosphere, these toxic people, not toxic masculinity, these toxic people, go, oh yeah, you shouldn't cry, this and that and the other. And then when you look at the stories of these individuals, they've all been fucking, had everything handed to them on a plate. They've never had to struggle.
It's not been tough for them, hasn't it?
No. Oh, you can't do this. It makes you weak. Okay, then I'll tell you what, mate. come into a room with me, let's lock the door, and if I want to be vulnerable and cry,
You
take the
stop me.
mick out of me. Yeah? If I sit there and go, I want to get emotional and cry, stand there and tell me I'm weak and pathetic, but the room's locked and you're not allowed to escape for 10 minutes. Say it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, mate, they'd be the one in the corner going, help, please,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
those types of people, toxic people, don't have the capability to be able to handle the things that...
I don't think they've been in the tough times either.
I just think that, masculinity in its healthiest and, most beautiful form encompasses, protection, provision, vulnerability, if we are given a space to be vulnerable. Because I think that culture and society and the jobs that we go to and probably the friend circles that we're in don't give us that space. But this is where I argue, and there might be a few, I might get cancelled for this, but men have a very, very, very important role in society. Yeah, we build the things, the infrastructure. We ask for no gratitude. We go to the oil rigs. We leave our families for years on end, months on end, to go fight wars. Before anyone says, "Oh yeah, well, we shouldn't be having wars," if you think you can eradicate tyrannical, aggressive behaviour out of the human species, you're an idiot. There will always be tyrannical men and women in this world. And it takes the real, healthy, strong, masculine men who have those parts of them under control to keep the real fucking tyrants at bay. It's that simple. And I just think that, men like yourself, mate, should be given us...
It's like what people perceive as well. If you're walking around and you see the guy who's stuck his chest out, shoulders back, looking as mean as he can, and I'm walking past him, and I'm thinking... That's what you're portraying there.
Weakest.
Yeah, you're hiding behind something. Whereas I'll just bimble past him and think, if I was with a client, for instance, I know that you don't care how big you are, you're not going to get to that client.
In trouble, yeah. There's one of my favourite fighters called Gennady Golovkin, GGG they call him. He's retired now. So Gennady Golovkin is, glasses on, really small and dainty, little welterweight, hardest hitter in boxing, and his precision and the way he hit people, he was stopping people, not just by knocking them out, but he was stopping people because he was fracturing jaws and eye sockets, right? Because he hit that hard and that precise. You take his boxing gloves off and his shorts on, and you have a look at the media pictures of him in his glasses with his little kids and that. And then there's sometimes you see captions saying, try and explain to people that this man will probably destroy 99.9% of the people you know. And people look at him and go, nah. Mate, I won't be too sure. Just by being big and putting your chest out doesn't make you fucking tough. And trust me, I think you'll know, and as well as I'll know, it doesn't make you tough at all. So ideally, right, if say for example, you had 10-year-old Pash sat here now, what's the best advice you'd give him?
Go for your dreams, and don't let people take you off your path, because your path is your path. And it might not seem as if it's reachable, but it is, because if you've got that big heart and that big mindset, you'll get there.
Yeah, don't listen. And
don't listen to anybody else.
We did a talk a while ago about self-imposed limitations, right? So what I spoke about was how people impose limitations on themselves. I can't do this. I've been told I can't do this. I ain't got the capabilities to do this. This is why I got upset in front of my PhD supervisors the other day when I shared earlier. I had this moment because I put myself in this position where I'd had a lot of stress with work and PhD stuff that go on, and I'd not heard much encouragement off anyone because I don't have family or anything much like that. I've got a brother now and bits and pieces, and one of my supervisors just simply said something like, "Kyle, do you know how capable you are of this?" But the way he said it just made me go. I was like, I started laughing, but I needed that so much in that moment, so much more than I could have even begin to have
It's
imagined.
worth it, innit? It's
Oh,
worth it.
mate. So that moment took all that limitation I'd put on myself, because I was, and I'm a psychologist and I'm susceptible to it. But because I'd probably done it for a prolonged period of time, where I was like, everything felt like I was in a pressure cooker. I'm doing my PhD, I'm doing all stuff. I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm a sinking ship here. I'm not going to be able to do this. But see the way I'm talking to myself. I'm putting my own limitations on myself.
Yeah, you put yourself down.
Yeah, and it was actually this moment with my PhD supervisor the other day, and it's funny because this was yesterday, where it just 2 sentences lifted it.
Brilliant.
So it's like almost not in just imposing ourselves with our own limitations. Don't listen to fucking other people as well, especially if they haven't achieved what you've achieved. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because how much are you going to wear? Like, just take the easy option. Think about the security of a fucking proper time. Think about the security of a full-time employment instead of starting your own business. There's no security there. But these people who are telling you this
They've
will
never
people.
tried it.
Yeah, there'll be people who work fucking jobs that they hate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Job for the whole life.
Yeah.
They'll never get out of that.
But most of us go, especially if I respect you as a person, and you're telling me these things, I'll go, oh yeah, well, Pasha, that'll be hard, man. Now, limitation. Then I start adding my own limitation.
Then you're not doing it.
No, just literally stop tracks.
Yeah.
And all it is, man, is vocabulary.
Yeah.
Innit?
Yeah.
It is just literally
And
vocabulary.
A couple of minutes has just changed your direction.
Mate. And I tell you something, it was funny because my PhD supervisor that did it to me, I think, because I had 3 supervisors in the room with me, and everyone was probably more taken back how little encouragement it took.
Right, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
How easy it was.
Yeah, how easy it was. And I think that's what we... Actually, I want to...
We're vulnerable.
100%. I think it's an important thing to say this. I think people don't understand how little encouragement it takes to lift people out the darkest pits that they're in. Just the most little tiny bit, especially young men. The little bit of encouragement, it's all they need.
Yeah.
Pat them on the head, tell them they're doing a good job, and they'll do fucking more of it.
Absolutely, mate.
Do you know what I mean?
My own experience for the last couple of years, I've started to talk about the mental health, and I'm not qualified. It's just experiences.
I'd argue that you are.
life experiences.
Yeah.
And I've had a few people on social media just asking if they could ring me up and we could have a video chat. And they'll just tell me what their problems are, and I don't know them. And they'll say they're in a dark place, and I'm saying, where do you want to go? And I'll give them a few little tools to go and do it. I'm like, mate, you're great. Stop thinking like this. And then they'll be crying on me, and I feel better for putting them in a better position, and that lifts them up to go off and do what they need to do. And it's good that we don't know each other. But I've just helped that person to get back on track and to get out of his shit. Yeah. And the stuff we put on our own shoulders, or what we perceive that people want.
So let me ask the question: are you okay, Pash?
I am at the moment, but sometimes I'll go off.
Yeah.
And I'll need some time out.
That alone time we were speaking about earlier.
Yeah.
Right?
And sometimes I'll have to hurt my own body to do that. I'll have to go thrash myself.
Yeah.
I'll have to put myself in pain.
It's like self-inflicted pain.
Absolutely.
It's self-harm, isn't it?
Yeah, it's self-harm. But after it, I've blown it off. And I'm like that. And I'm in the shower, a nice long shower. I'm like, I'm good now. I needed to do that. But to have that pause, like we spoke about it before, we need to have a pause sometimes. Say, where am I? Where do I need to go? Am I going that way, or am I marking time, or am I veering off?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we know where we want to go. We just need to admit it to ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't admit things to ourselves. That's really hard to admit. How easy is it? Where do I think I am? Am I capable? Yes, I am capable, because we should say we're capable of whatever we want to do. Am I on that line? Am I on my journey? Or am I stopping myself? Am I in the back of my mind saying, I don't think I can do it? Because once that little seed's in there, ballses you up. It stops everything, but you forgot you put it in there. So subconsciously, you're going along, and it's stopping you again. You're like, what the fuck? Why?
It's like
Because 2 weeks ago you said you can't do it.
It's like a mechanism now,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah, it's the same as the laughing to cover crying. It's a mechanism now.
Yeah.
So then it's repeated, isn't it? So
Yeah.
every time I try it, I'll just stop.
Yeah.
And isn't it funny, though, when we think about this? I love Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius' teachings are fantastic. Federico Nietzsche, philosopher, fantastic. Anyway, one of the favourite philosophical sayings from Marcus Aurelius, he says, "We only ever suffer in imagination." I fucking love it. Because when you think about it, mate, because if you really think about that, we only ever suffer in imagination. It's like almost when you sit there and you've put yourself through an hour's worth of worry, pain and suffering about, full of pain and suffering about the future, then all of a sudden you sit there and you realise, and you take a quick look around and you're all right, you're safe.
Yeah.
But the last hour's been all this emotional turmoil, this emotional extreme, negative feeling, yeah. And then when you really take a look, I'm sat on a fucking sofa,
Yeah.
and I'm all right, So
Yeah.
I'd probably say that maybe people could take this away from. I hope they've taken a few things away from today, and we'll talk a little bit more in a minute. But I hope they take this away, and that is next time that you are in a position where you feel that,
It's too much.
you're too much and you can't, things are very high in negative emotion. Just take a pause, like Pash says, but take a quick minute and have a quick look around and what is the immediate threat? What is the immediate danger? And I would argue that 99.9% of the time, there's going to be none.
It's you.
This is here. It's all encapsulated inside this skull, innit?
You're doing it onto yourself.
Yeah. And it's simple, but not easy.
Yeah.
And there's a difference, isn't there, between simplicity
Yeah.
and difficulty.
And it's admitting it to yourself.
Yeah,
You're just
yeah.
lying to yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's almost like we try to find justification for the thoughts,
Yeah.
don't we?
Yeah.
I'm terrible, everything's awful, everything's rubbish. So.
But why?
Yeah, right, show me the evidence.
Yeah.
Oh, well, have you got a degree? Yeah. Or have you, have you accomplished something? Have you ever climbed a mountain? Have you had children? Yeah. Well, you fucking accomplished something then, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Did you get out of bed this morning and tidy your house? Yeah. Well, you've accomplished something. Do you know, I love this. The book's on there somewhere. Make your bed.
Yeah, every morning, make your bed.
Make your bed.
How basic is that?
Oh, mate, people don't on the fucking stand.
No.
I make my bed every single morning.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
And it sounds ridiculous, but every time I go to bed
But
at
it
night,
starts
I
the
look
process.
at it.
It starts
yeah,
it.
man.
It starts it.
Just one thing done, one
Yeah.
tiny thing done.
Yeah.
And Jordan Peterson said a while ago, he was talking to some client, and he said, so I started adopting this strategy with one of these young men I've been working with recently. And he was talking about his, I was talking about his environment, the mess of the house and bits and pieces. And I was like, right, tomorrow, I said, can you manage tidying a room at least? He went, oh, I don't know. I said, all right, what do you think you can manage? I said, I don't know, Kyle, I don't know. I said, could you manage plugging your Hoover in? He went, yeah, I can manage that. I said, okay, cool. So he plugged it, so I see him, a week's gone by, I'm talking to him via our app, because we work with people via an app, and I see people face to face. A few days later, I said, I sent him a message on the app. I said, oh, did you plug the Hoover? And he went, I did, Kyle. I said, have you used the Hoover yet? Have you started? He went, no. I said, do you reckon you could turn the Hoover on and just maybe push it forward and back a few times today? He went, yeah, I can manage that. 2 days later, I said, oh, yeah, so did you turn it on? Did you push it back? He went, yeah, I actually hoovered the entire room, the entire downstairs, like all downstairs in the house. I'm hoovered every room. But that was enough for me for today, Kyle. I couldn't do any more. I was like, okay, cool. Fucking hell. Now, there was a few days ago, all we could manage was plugging a Hoover in. Now I've hoovered the whole floor, right? So then I was like, let's go on to other thing. And within about 2-3 weeks, I was getting messages from Kyle, the house is fucking spotless. I'm so happy. I'm so fucking grateful. This house is clean. And I was like, mate, your environment represents your internal work, your internal well-being, right? You show me a messy desk at work or a messy house, I'll have a good gauge on your psychological well-being by looking at your environment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's important that we speak to ourselves, in an important manner. And yeah, going into the future, you know, men like me and you know, we talk about our vulnerabilities, you know what I mean, and talk about, you know,
our weak points.
Yeah.
It is our weak point, but it's being comfortable with your weak point. It's not masking you. Let your weak point go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
I actually say that vulnerability is strength, right?
Yeah.
So long as you're vulnerable enough. Listen, the world doesn't, and going back into masculinity, the world doesn't need weak men. Weak men are not good men. If you're a weak man, say for an example, I mean, I don't want to pull out of a situation that you've not been in, but as something, I'm going to use your military background as an example potentially. So we understand that there's tyrants in the world, yeah, and that's inevitable. Human nature is always going to be elements of aggression, elements of, you know, assertiveness, and people are going to be tyrannical with it. And it's the masculine men and, you know, women who have some masculine traits who have those tendencies under control, who keep the real tyrants at bay. So if me, you and Aberdeen was in war and we goes to war, and sadly we lose you, Pash, and me and Aberdeen are stood there and we're still getting contact, we're getting fired upon, we've lost you, you're our best mate. Me and Aberdeen can't melt.
No, you've got to get on with it.
We can't melt. And I know this, I'm talking about the extremity here, but this is what I mean by weakness, right? If we cannot fulfill the duties that we have in front of us as men, the real tyrants will take over, and they will. And they try to do it on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
They'll take over, and I tell you now, that is exactly when everybody in the world will be calling upon healthy masculine men, and will be nowhere to be seen. And we will, and we'll be missed, and we'll be needed. You know, so
we all like our freedom.
We do, mate. We do like our freedom.
You know, that's the main thing in it. We like our freedom. We like to do what we actually want to do, rather than being told to do.
We'll finish on this one, Pasha, mate. So I wonder what you're taking. I already know your answer, but a good friend of mine was talking. My son was there, and we was talking about my role as a father, and we was talking about a few different things. Like I always tell my son when I've made a mistake. You know, I need my son to know that mistakes can happen, and I'm a man and I can make mistakes. Because I wasn't shown that, I always thought I had to be perfect. Because my dad never apologised for anything, even if he knew he'd done something wrong. He wouldn't sit and go, "Oh, sorry, son, I made a mistake there." He'd just not say anything. So I always thought I had to be perfect. I couldn't make mistakes. So I realised that I set a high standard for myself right? So I always have these different standards being a father, right? I have these different standards, and one of them being, you know, I always tell my son I've made a mistake, and I always told him, you know, about my past, and I'm an open book with my son. I'd never shelter him from anything. I allow him to do risky things carefully, right? I allow him to do risky things carefully so he can formulate the tools that he needs to tend to the world that we live in. Because sometimes it's not fucking friendly, right? It's the world that we live in. But I suppose it'd be interesting to know, you know, from your perspective, your dynamics with your son. I know, like, you want to show him the things that you've never had.
I've got a perfect scenario, absolutely. So a couple of days ago, well, probably a week ago, I did a podcast, and I talked about my mental health, and I talked about I was in a dark place and I wanted to end it. Now, before I started talking a while ago, I suspect me and my wife sat down together, and she goes, "If you're going to start talking things like that, you need to talk to your children first to explain where you were and where you are now, and you know, tell them that you went through that process, kind of thing." And I didn't. I forgot about it. So, not last night, night before, my son comes down, a bit upset, kind of thing. He's like, "What's going on?" He goes, "Oh, I've just gone into a dark place." Because what's up? He goes, "I've just seen someone the podcaster put a clip on that part of me wanting to take my own life." And I go, "Oh." So I was like, "Mike, this is what happened." And I explained the steps of how the journey of what made me go into that, the answer that I thought I needed to do. And he got it then once I'd explained the steps of what made me go into it. And then he accepted it. But then I thought, frig, I hadn't told my other son. So but straight away when I went upstairs, look, mate, I need to have a chat. And I explained it. He goes, I've got that, Dad. I'm happy with that. But yeah, I should have
been on it. It's just straight.
Yeah.
But it's hard, isn't it? That I think it leads into everything that we spoke about today. Like,
because you've got that image of that you're the mentor.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily know or want to hear the bad parts about you because you're the top of what
You're a hero,
yeah,
aren't you?
yeah.
You're your hero, aren't you?
Absolutely.
An unbreakable hero.
Yeah. And because I'm on flipping socials all the time, my son goes to school and loads of his mates follow me, so he loves all that kind of stuff, which is nice. But then once I go into the negative parts of what I've been through, then that needs to be talked before, you know, so they can process that as well.
Yeah,
because you don't want one of his mates saying, "Oh, your dad was going to do this, that," and if he didn't know that, that's a horrible position to be in.
That's the thing about only being given one bit of context. Like, there's this one bit of context of a video of you saying, "I want to kill myself." There's no more context.
Yeah,
so
no,
now
there's no,
like and it's quite an emotive and quite an extreme bit of context, right?
Absolutely.
Without the other context, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, God bless him.
And I felt a failure because I didn't do that first to him or to them to explain.
What was it that stopped you?
Someone helped me. Someone saw I wasn't in a good way and grabbed me and goes, "You're fucking not right here."
What stopped you from telling your kids? Honestly,
I don't know. On that first,
yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
because I'm quite open.
yeah.
I'm quite open.
Oh,
to
okay,
it.
so
I am open.
Yeah, that's good then.
Yeah, I am open, and I don't hide that fact.
I
don't hide it because I want them to be my best mate.
They need to know, don't they? This is the thing I was going into.
It's not all like that. Life's fucking hard.
This is strength, man. Anyone watching this now needs to understand that this is what I, as an experienced and expert in human behaviour, regard as strength. Two men talking about these types of things, but two men who could squeeze the life out of you and eradicate your living existence from here in quite a few seconds, but obviously wouldn't do such a thing absolutely ever unless it came to, you know, protecting my family or myself. That's it. That we need this, man. We need to be able to talk like this, and you know, guys need to be able to talk. We need to give men the space to be able to talk and give them fucking words of encouragement. God damn it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just pat on the
pat
head.
on the back.
Yeah, well
You're
done.
doing all right, mate. You're doing all right.
Thank you, man. And especially, you know, I don't want to push this on to wives and women, you know, but what you find in a lot of the practices, when men, for an example, put up a shelf and it's taken them 3 weeks to put up, they'll put the shelf up and then what'll happen is the wife will turn around and be like, "Oh yeah, thanks, yeah, it's only took you 3 weeks." And it's like, okay, so just imagine this, right? He's done something for you. Yeah, it's taken him 3 weeks, but he's done something for you. What's he been met with?
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's taken you so... The next time you ask him to do something, why is he going to want to do it? And it might take him 4 weeks next time, because he knows when he does it, he's probably going to get another... Yes, it's taken him 3 weeks. Yes, it's... But just treat him that simply. Yeah? Treat him as simple as a dog.
Absolutely.
Because when he's done it, whether it's taken 3 weeks or not,
pat on the back.
Good job. Thank you for that. And guess what? It'll make him want to do fucking more for you.
Absolutely. And I think, without going into the specifics, I think people who are close can say things to you which can fuck you up.
Yeah.
And they don't mean to, but you take it so personally. The people who love you the most can just say something negative, and all of a sudden,
done.
I'm fucking there.
They've
just done that.
It's almost like the people are the closest to you are the puppet strings to your emotions, right? Aren't they? Yeah. And that's when, I mean, we won't go into this now, but the pathology of like forensic and criminal psychology, when we look at like control and coercion and that, when sort of people start, when it's, you know, narcissistic personality traits and those types, you know, when they get an understanding and an eye in that, you know, actually anything that I say, anything that I do affects this person
for your
to
gain.
such a degree. Yeah, and then, but let's park that for a minute. everybody who you have close to you has that ability.
Yeah, yeah.
So just be mindful of that power, because be kind.
You don't
to
know
them.
if you're doing it.
Yeah, yeah. Even if it's unintentional,
Yeah.
just make sure that you retrospectively reflect, and then are able to go up to the person and say, look, I was a bit of a dick an hour ago.
Yeah.
I know it's taken you 3 weeks to do that shelf, and I was a bit
Yeah.
mardy with you about it. But I love you and thank you so much
Absolutely,
for doing
mate.
it. I'm sorry.
And one thing cause I was speaking to someone the other day about when children are going through the process of looking for their careers and which direction, it's the parents that mould that or stop it. So, for instance, if my son comes down and he says, I want to go for this is what I want to do as a job, career. If you say, how are you going to do it? That's putting negativity. You're basically not believing him.
Yeah, yeah.
It should be something like, what do you need? How can I help you? Or that way, rather than say how. I don't believe you.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
believe
like,
you. You're not going to.
yeah,
You're not.
why would
You're
you
not
wanna
going to
do
do
that?
that.
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
all of a sudden, you've changed their career or their direction because you might not have meant it, but you've just stopped it.
Imagine how many kids, and may I just say, like, imagine how many kids that have gone to their parents and said something like, Dad, I want to be an artist. And they've gone, why the fuck would you want to do
Exactly.
that? Dad, I want to be a musician. Why the
Yeah.
fuck would you want to do that?
Yeah.
And because that's my caregiver and he's my father, I want to please him.
Yeah.
So I then go, oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
You see it
Yeah,
all the time, mate.
maybe
It's
I
horrible.
don't do that. It's called enmeshment trauma. So we abandon our sense of self to fall in line with our caregivers' ideas of what we should be doing. Simply, enmeshment trauma. If people want to look that up, you see it a lot in different cultures, especially I'll say it. You see it a lot in the Indian culture. You see a lot of doctors who go through actually go through clinical psychology treatment because of this enmeshment trauma, where being a doctor is an incredible acquisition. It's an incredible success. But there's a lot of doctors who are doctors because their dads were doctors and their aunties were doctors.
Do that?
There was a family of doctors.
Yeah, yeah.
So every time they've been, if you say there's no way in this world, being a doctor isn't a genetic predisposition. So having a family of doctors is a social engineering construct or a culturally engineered family. So they've all been culturally engineered into this one thing, doctor. So they all end up abandoning a sense, because I tell you what, that family of doctors, I bet there were some artists in there, some lawyers in there, some teachers in there, some whatever. But no, they've all abandoned the sense of self to follow this idea. And I think it's important that we remain true to. It's a difficult one, that, but when I say true, we should remain true to ourselves. I don't like that statement, because who the fuck are we exactly? And if you haven't established that, when you say I'm trying to be true to myself, what self are you fucking talking about? So I would say explore. Explore things. You know what I mean?
You don't want to be old and think, I wish I'd done this.
Yeah, fuck that.
You don't want that.
No. One of the great books that I've read, the Regrets of the Dying, or something along those lines, that lady wrote it. It's a fantastic book. She writes about these. She works with a lot of old people who are like dying over a long period of time through a career, and she wrote this book called One of the Biggest Regrets of the Dying. And the biggest regret of the dying is not following through on the opportunities that were given. That's it. Nothing else. Not their own mistakes, not the shitty things they've done or the things they've done wrong. It's being presented with opportunities and not pursuing them. The biggest regret.
Unbelievable.
Because when you're fucking dead and you're in your deathbed, you look back and you go,
why?
I've done that, yeah. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, Pasha, I'm so grateful for having you here.
Brilliant.
And we will get you here again, my friend. And I'm really, really grateful for you sharing everything with me and being vulnerable with me and allowing me to be fucking vulnerable too, my man. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you.
Thank you.